Hello, seventh graders. Okay, I'm going to try to make this quick. So we are going to learn how to do our photosynthesis versus cellular respiration Google Slides. I already have it open. So go ahead and open up your copy. And we are going to learn how to do this together. So this is really easy, especially because we just did the cellular and respiration worksheet. So we know that between these two organelles, that plants need sunlight. So we know that this one is going to photosynthesize. So we're going to go ahead and put photosynthesis up here. And that means that this one is going to be our cellular respiration. So we're going to go ahead and put that down there. Now, we know that photosynthesis needs sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. So we already have the sunlight there. We're going to put our carbon dioxide here because it goes into that to that chloroplast. So carbon dioxide goes in, and also water goes into that plant as well. And then we need light. So then photosynthesis happens, and then it produces oxygen. And it also produces that food for itself, which is glucose. It's a sugar, it's their food. That is why they are called producers. And then we take in that oxygen and glucose, and we undergo cellular respiration, which creates water. We breathe out carbon dioxide, and we also breathe out water droplets. We also sweat. And then we also have this ATP here, which is our energy that creates the power for our bodies to function. So that goes into our cells, and that gives us the energy that we need for daily function. So what we are going to do, we need to find the definition for photosynthesis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my energy for life, which is the PowerPoint right before this. And I just chose, I went through the PowerPoint right before this, so I didn't take up time in the video. And I'm going to write photosynthesis is a process of making glucose with the sun's energy. So we're going to go back here, is the process of making glucose, which is sugar, with the sun's energy. And what is cellular respiration? So then we're going to go to our energy for life, and let's see, cellular respiration. Let's see. Learn plants, learn some. Cellular respiration is a process by which the chemical energy of food. So let's go. Is a process by which the chemical energy of food glucose. So that energy that goes into that plant to create that glucose is redistributed into that glucose. Energy of food is released and turned into the fuel that cells can use, called ATP. Is released and turned into fuel. That cells can, what is it? Cells can use, called ATP. Which is our type of energy. It's got a bigger name, but I'm not expecting you to learn that at all. All right, so now we have that first page already figured out. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take all of these and we are going to decide whether they are reactants or if they are products of photosynthesis and respiration. So photosynthesis takes place in the organelle called chloroplasts. And then cellular respiration takes place in the organelle, the mitochondria, which it says mitochondrion, which is just the plural. So that means that there are multiple. The mitochondria is just singular. That's just one cell. All right, so energy is a product or a reactant of photosynthesis. So we know that energy is needed, so that sunlight is needed for photosynthesis to occur. So that goes in, so that is going to be a reactant. That is what's going into the reaction. We also know that oxygen is not needed for photosynthesis, but it is produced by photosynthesis because that is what we breathe in. So we know that that is going to be a product. Carbon dioxide is needed to go into it, so that is going to be a reactant. And then water is also needed for plants to create photosynthesis. So we know that that's going to be a reactant because it's going into the reaction. Glucose, which is the sugar, is then produced with that oxygen as well. So we know that that is going to be a product. And then what form does the energy come in when we're talking about photosynthesis? We know that it needs energy from the sun. So it's going to be in the form of sunlight. And a little quick tip for you guys with this, cellular respiration and photosynthesis are exact opposites. So the reactants are going to be the products and the products are going to be the reactants. So energy is going to be a product of cellular respiration because that's going to be the ATP that we create. Oxygen we need to be breathe in, so that's going to be a reactant because it's going into the reaction. Carbon dioxide we breathe out, so it's going to be a product that's going out of the reaction. Water, that is going to be going out, so it's going to be a product. And then glucose, it's going in because we are consuming that glucose from those plants. So that is going to be a reactant. And you can see with these that it's completely opposite. Reactant, product, product, reactant, reactant, product, reactant, product, product, reactant. And then what form does the energy come in? It's not going to be sunlight anymore. It's going to be our own that we create, which is called the ATP. Now, with all of these, reactant is going to be on the left side of the reaction, and the product is going to be on the right side of that arrow. So for cellular respiration, we can go up here, and we know that a product is going to be the energy, and it comes in the form of ATP. So we're going to take this and bring it down to that product side, that right side. Now we're going to go down this line. Oxygen is going to be a reactant, and that's going into cellular respiration. So we are going to take that oxygen, and we're going to put it on that left side. Product is going to be carbon dioxide. So we're going to take it and put it over by our ATP because that is what we expel. And then we also have our water, which is what we expel as well. And then our glucose is a reactant. So it's going to go over here with what we take in with our oxygen. Uh-oh, I did the wrong thing. Oop. Glucose. Beautiful. And hint, it's going to be opposite. So photosynthesis is going to need, we need sunlight for our photosynthesis to work. We also need that water. And we also need that carbon dioxide. That's what goes into photosynthesis. So then we know that on what's going to happen after photosynthesis is it creates oxygen and it also creates that glucose. Alrighty, go ahead and turn it in.